Hey, Jillian here. Welcome back to another My Heritage Scrapbook layout. Today I'm going to be using some pieces from the new Maggie Holmes Shine collection as well as a few papers from the Craft Market collection from Create Paper to Scrapbook, a few photos of my husband's great-grandparents and his grandfather. I had pulled some thickers from my stash, the 6x12 cardstock stickers, a cut-apart piece from the Craft Market collection, a doily, and just a plain shipping tag to put my journaling on. I'm going to use this herringbone piece of pattern paper from the Craft Market collection, and I'm just taking 3 inches off of the sheet so that it is a 9x12 background. And then I'm also going to use the black and white floral piece of pattern paper from the Shine collection and put that on the bottom of the layout. When I was done, I realized that this kind of looks like a carpet sitting on a wooden floor. So I was not going for that effect, but I think that's what it looks like. And my husband's great-great-grandfather that's pictured in this photo worked for a rug manufacturer, so maybe that's relevant. So I'm just trimming off part of the paper there, and typically I would be so hesitant about cutting into a full sheet of a new collection, but for some reason with this collection I didn't have any problems, so progress. Also, what I'm indicating there is I wanted to put when I cut the piece of pattern paper, it looked like the pattern was a little heavy to one side because there were more flowers clustered together. So I put that on the bottom of the layout so that, one, you could see them, and it also grounded the layout. So here I'm getting my title down on wax paper. I simply titled it Circa 1905. I didn't really have anything jump out at me title-wise for this layout, and since I'm putting the year on every page in these albums, I figured that this was a safe strategy. So I'm trying to make that cut-apart work. It's from the Craft Market cut-apart sheet, and I will use that at the end, but not as it's pictured there. So what I'm doing is I layered a doily underneath the photo on the side of my husband's great-grandmother, and then I just put a shipping tag over that. Now, part of my journaling is going to be there, and then the title is resting on top of the shipping label. And so here I'm taking this paper, my favorite from the Craft Market collection. This is the only scrap I have left, and I think it's the stitched paper. It has that beautiful navy and white floral on the back. I'm matting my photos with this. I really tried hard to bring some more color into this layout, but in the end it just ends up being this herringbone and then floral pattern, and I'm okay with it. It's a nice just neutral resting spot for the eyes, I guess. You know, I love color, and I want to bring some color into these layouts to bring the photos to life, but I thought this was a nice neutral layout and will be a nice change in the album. So what I did end up matting this photo in the navy paper from the Shine collection, and that paper's almost gone, and I only got one, and I think this is the second of 3 layouts that it ends up on. So may have to go back for that or put it on the Christmas list. So these photos the bottom one is a 3x4. I printed it on my Canon selfie, and then the top 2 are about 2x3. The originals live in the family photo albums at my in-laws. These are the only pictures that we have of my husband's great-great-grandfather. Unfortunately, he and his wife did not stay together, and he went on to have another family. So we didn't even know that these photos existed until we started looking for this project. So we were pretty excited about that. And the photo on the top left, that is of Joseph by himself, that is not going to stay on this page. I was kind of struggling with the photo placement a little bit, so what I decided to do, since these are the only photos I have of him, is I'm going to use that photo of him by himself on another page, kind of like introducing him in the album. So what I'm doing here, by the way, is I wanted a little strip of paper to cover up the join of the herringbone and the floral paper, so I'm taking the stitched paper from Craft Market, and I cut maybe 1/8 of an inch strip from it and then glued it down just to cover that join. I thought that it would bring some more color into the layout, but as you can see here, it's pretty neutral. So next I'm starting on my journaling. I was struggling about whether or not to include the information about my husband's great-great-grandfather because, you know, he didn't stay with his family for long. and I'd be interested to hear what you guys have to say about this. If you were documenting your family's history, would you include the not so nice stuff? I mean, I'm thinking about maybe journaling it and hiding it, but I'm just not sure how I want to work this out in my albums. And unfortunately, you know, there is that kind of problem that I'm running into for several layouts, and so I'm just interested to hear what you guys have to say about that. So leave me a comment below and let me know what you would do in your family's history books, as it were. So for the journaling, what I ended up doing is just saying something simple like, you know, this is Joseph, Walter, and Lily Ungerbuehler. They lived in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. This photo was taken in 1905. I didn't feel like that was enough, especially since these are the only photos of them as a family. So I went on Ancestry.com and looked at some of the census information that I had found on them. And it's very interesting because on these censuses from 1930, I think that's probably the most informative one. It lists their occupation, so if you're ever interested, and it's free to search these records, by the way. Mocavo is another great site, mocavo.com. You can just search your relative's name, and the census information will pop up, and it doesn't require a membership or anything like that. That's actually how I got started down this rabbit hole. So anyway, on the census, it lists what they do, and I was able to find out that my husband's great-great-grandfather was an upholsterer, later worked for a rug manufacturer, and his great-great-grandmother worked in a drug manufacturer's factory. So it's pretty interesting what you can find about your family, so I would urge you to check that out if this seems like a project that you'd be interested in undertaking. But I will warn you, it is addicting. So what I'm doing here is I went ahead and fussy cut a couple of those flowers from the black and white floral paper because I really felt like this layout needed something at the top left to balance it out. And since I removed that photo of Joseph on the top, I decided that I wanted to take this this cut apart sheet card and I fussy cut the pattern out. I wasn't crazy about it as I was doing it, but I'm glad I just kept going because I do like how it looks in the end. So you'll see at the end of this video, I end up removing the journaling or the shipping label that has the journaling on it because I'm going to rewrite my journaling. I'm going to write it on this piece that I'm cutting out and then I'm going to continue it on the shipping label. And because I haven't exactly worked out what I'm going to say and I do want to keep it private, it is blank on the final images of this layout at the end of the video. So here I am just figuring out how I want to layer that piece with the floral, and I'm being careful to not put any glue directly on the photos. They're not the originals, but still I am trying to be careful of that, and I do end up covering a bit of the photo, but it's just Lily's skirt, so I'm okay with it. And I also think it's cool just to see what they're wearing in these photos. What she's wearing, it looks like maybe something you'd see from the late 1800s. So it's so funny to see these images and then think, you know, what our family is going to think of what we're wearing now. So it's pretty interesting. Oh, so what I'm doing here is indicating that I still need something in the top left. So the flower that I fussy cut out, it ended up not going next to the photo in the top left. So what I decided to do is cut another flower out from that paper and I'm going to put it up at the very top of the layout. So I had also pulled out the Crepe Paper Wonder sticker sheet, and what I'm going to do is use the bottom part of this label. The label actually says something like True Happiness, so I cut that off and then I'm going to use that to anchor this flower, and then I also found a sticker from the Shine 6x12 sticker sheet, and it's a little white and gray heart. Here's a look at my finished layout along with a few close-ups. If you guys have any questions about resources for researching your family's history, feel free to leave me a comment below or shoot me an email. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you again soon.